My name is Vin Paleri. I'm head and neck surgeon. I am also past president of the British Association of Head and Neck Oncologists, and that's a hat I'm kind of going to wear as I talk you through some of the data issues we've had. I also run a center for recurrent head and neck cancer, and that also interweaves into what I'm about to speak. So let me make a confession, ladies and gentlemen. So when, let's say, as a professional group, we see a patient in a clinic with particular cancer, let's say, we advise them of treatment. And when the patient asks us about their prognosis, what are the chances of success, what are the chances of their disease coming back at a later stage, we give them information that probably is not as accurate as it should be. We have imperfect information. We give them information that isn't current, that is based on potentially research data that's published elsewhere in the literature, that we copy and paste into the conversation. And I put it to you, that is not good enough. We need to know much better information. We need to offer these patients the right information from that particular center. It is simply not good enough to extrapolate information from research trials, because that is conducted in a fairly well-controlled fashion. And using those results to counsel patients is simply not acceptable in this day and age. And I'm ashamed to say that is what we do today. We have to raise our game. But why are we where we are? Let me tell you a story. So a little while ago, 2000s or so, the Department of Health, this is before the crash, before the financial crash, when things were pretty good and there was money flowing every which way, a large project was commenced to look at the outcomes of, not necessarily outcomes, to look at the processes of care within head and neck cancer. This commenced as a project called DANO, which is a database for head and neck oncology. The project went on for a while, for about 10 years or so. The project yielded some useful data, which was used to fund subsequent clinical trials. However, that particular project, which looked at the process of care, did not necessarily offer us outcomes of care. So we knew how many patients we were treating, we knew what stages they came to us with, we knew what treatments they had, we know how effective those treatments were. We just didn't. That data didn't exist. So a few professionals came together and said, we need to change the status quo. Went back to DOH, and for a multitude of reasons involving, like most things in life, personalities involved here. Because of personalities, because of whatever happened in the past, that particular audit, which could have been extended, given that it's done so much work for 10 years, had put in so much groundwork, personnel, and had a process going, could have been extended to assess outcomes. That was put to bed. And a new project was commissioned. Again, this is when there was money flowing. That project picked off, was quite ambitious, and it didn't pick up enough traction across the country. So despite having done a fair amount of work, we have little data arising from the project. So all this has led to a stage where the Department of Health's the cancer program, they don't have much faith in the head and neck cancer community performing and delivering an audit. So we have audits for prostate cancer, for lung cancer, for kidney cancer, for breast cancer, for recurrent breast cancer, but none for head and neck cancer. So we're in a situation where, ashamedly, a patient comes in, we have no good data to advise them on. In the interim, what's happened is we have had progress in better data being collected as we see patients day to day. So interestingly, within England, for instance, when a patient comes to contact with the hospital, that contact is recorded. when a patient ever has a scan, that contact is recorded. When a patient ever has a chemotherapy, that contact is recorded. Radiation therapy, that's recorded. But these are all in different silos of data. Given that they're in different silos, we can, because these data sets these data sets are in different silos, we can try and merge them in a very robust fashion. And our intention at this point in time is to perform something along those lines. This has been done in other cancers along with other data specialists. So that's why we're here. So as president of BANO, we explored this several times with a particular organization that does this on a regular basis, and Professor Linda Sharp will also speak on that later. And we brought in the full weight of the academic BANO Council Committee to explore this in depth, and looks like it is feasible within head and neck cancer. But because the Department of Health has lost some faith in this, we need to essentially buy their trust in us. So we had, after a lot of lobbying, after a lot of phone calls and emails and discussions, this morning we had a fairly good discussion with Tamara and myself and one of our patient reps, Mr. Malcolm Babb, with David Fitzgerald, who is the director of NHS National Cancer Program. And given the data, whatever I mentioned, I think we managed to convince David that it is feasible to deliver this. So I don't mean this lightly, but I'm going to leave you with 3 takeaway points why I think we can deliver this fairly confidently, and Linda Sharp will give you more information on this. Number 1 is that it's been done across other cancers, and the partner that we intend to go with to deliver this National Head and Neck Cancer Audit is a robust organization that already delivers similar audits, similar methodology for other cancers, for prostate, for lung, for colorectal, and also for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is 72 different types of lymphoma. So it's feasible. The second reason is this has been looked at very critically by the academic committee in BANO, the council, with other members, and we think is deliverable. And thirdly, BANO is putting its money where its mouth is. We're putting in 40K into the process to try get this delivered. And lastly, within IREC, which I chair, we have a PhD student who's fully committed to looking at this particular data set and analyze recurrences within this. So I think, to me, the stars are aligning, and we're at a stage where we potentially can come up with good data sets, and that's where Tamara and the coalition, I didn't know about the merger, but congratulations on that happy marriage, and I hope it lasts for a very long time for the benefit of head and neck cancer patients. But I look forward to discussing with you and seeing what we can do with the project. But without taking Linda Sharp's thunder, I want Linda to come and explain to us what you're doing with this kind of data, Linda, so we can convince the audience even further.